I'm on the road again and ready for more grand days out around our beautiful country.
It's like we're driving through a little tunnel of happiness.
I've always been a massive fan of camper van holidays. And for the past few years, I've had a real beauty of my own, named after one of my heroes.
I'd like you to say hello to my wonderful camper van, Helen Mirren.
She's the perfect travelling companion.
You okay, Helen? Yeah, I'm all right.
For a great adventure. Round the length and breadth of Britain. To find beautiful places.
Oh, this is gorgeous.
And hidden corners.
I did it, and I'm really, really proud that I did.
It's a celebration of some amazing sights.
It's absolutely brilliant!
Both big.
Oh my goodness.
And small.
It's the most beautiful thing in the world.
So saddle up.
Yes!
Yeah. And join me. On my grand days out. This time, I'm exploring the stunning county of Cumbria.
Absolutely heavenly. Wow.
I set sail on a childhood adventure.
That's us ready to head out into the biggest lake in England.
Perfect.
Indulge my inner artist.
This is how smartphones were invented.
And discover Wonderland.
It's like stepping into the pages of a Lewis Carroll novel.
As I fall in love with this incredible place.
This view is just magnificent.
Nestled in the northwest is England's third largest county, Cumbria, home to the Lake District and the North Pennines.
Nothing more beautiful than a little windy road overlooked by the mountains and the fells along the side of a gorgeous lake. Absolutely heavenly.
Famed for its spectacular scenery, Cumbria has some of England's tallest mountains and biggest lakes. It's a place that I can't keep away from.
So Helen and I are back. We're in Cumbria. What we're doing this time is we're exploring a part I haven't really been to before, because it's quite nice to just explore a bit further. That's what we're doing. Why? Because it's beautiful. This is absolutely stunning. Would you look at it?
All good road trips need a good plan, and this stunning place near Grasmere looks perfect.
High leg kick to start the adventure. So, here I am. Pretty gorgeous behind me. Got my map to plan my trip in Cumbria. I am, at the moment, just at Grasmere, which it says is a picturesque village, and it is. I can verify that.
Top of my list is Lake Windermir, and then head east towards Kendal. I'll loop back through the majestic Cumbrian fells to finally finish back on the shores of the lake.
Now I need to fold up my map properly.
It seems like I've been doing my planning on someone else's patch.
I'll just be going.
Apparently, Mute Swan Henry is a regular visitor here, and he's become something of a local celebrity. I think he's wishing me well for my journey. Just 10 miles south lies the town of Bo'ness on Windermere. Lake Windermere is England's largest lake, and on a day like today, it's just spectacular.
So this is beautiful Lake Windermere. Gorgeous day. I'm going to skim some stones over there. No, see, I can't do it because the ducks then come through.
But I'm going to leave the ducks in peace, as there's someone else at the lake I just have to talk to.
Hello, my name's Susan. What's your name?
I'm Taffy Thomas, the first Storyteller Laureate of the UK.
Cumbrian resident and storyteller Taffy collects and preserves folk tales from all over the country and is certainly dressed for the job.
The first thing that caught my eye is this incredible coat. Can you tell me about it?
It's my tailcoat, and when I put this on, I become a storytelling jukebox, because every picture on the coat is one of my stories. So usually I pass control to the audience. So if they point to the badger, they have a badger story. If they point to the salmon, they have a salmon story.
It's wonderful. Do you have anything that you can tell me about?
One of my favourite riddles, then.
Okay.
I live in the air and on the land. I build my own home, though not by hand. A jet black cap and a snow white vest and a pair of scissors make the rest. What am I?
I think I saw one of these swooping round the beautiful slate buildings. Is it a swallow?
It is indeed a swallow. You're here on Windermere, where swallows are particularly important to us because the wonderful Arthur Ransom put together his famous book, Swallows and Amazons.
I love Swallows and Amazons. It's a beautiful story. So it was set around here.
It was indeed set here, and the islands off here. And those islands have a particular magic as well.
You're an absolute superstar.
That's really sweet of you to say.
Thank you so much. Thank
Lovely
you.
to meet you.
I'll see you soon,
Swallows
darling.
and Amazons
Swallows
forever.
and forever.
Written in 1930 and inspired by Arthur Ransom's time in the Lake District, Swallows and Amazons unfolds over a summer holiday as two groups of children lay claim to a secret island. I wish my childhood's holidays had been a bit like that.
So I'm the youngest of three children. My brother and sister were all very, very different, as most siblings are. Everyone wanted to do something else. The thing I remember most of all, I would end up hanging out with my brother quite a lot because he wanted to play golf and all those things. So I just, I think as the youngest, you do what you're kind of told, but you sulk a lot. I sulked a lot. And I tell you something, I'm a talented sulker.
With no siblings to scupper my plans, I'm hoping to have my own Swallows and Amazons adventure. And Skipper Ian from the Jetty Museum might just be the man for the job.
Hi, Ian.
Hello, Susan.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
You're going to make my boating dreams come true, I think, aren't you?
I'm certainly going to try.
You're going to try. I've been here so many times, but it always takes my breath away, especially on a day like this.
Absolutely stunning. There's not many places you can sail with a backdrop like that. And a day like today just makes it really special.
Now, I'm detecting a twang to your accent there,
You
Ian.
might have done.
You're not from round these parts.
I'm from Edinburgh.
What brings you here, Lake Windermere?
We moved up here, started a little sailing school on the lake to just to get people out on such a beautiful place, teach them sailing. And then I saw the museum being built, and I thought, what a fantastic place to get involved with. So I've ended up running all the heritage boats, including Swallow and Amazon. It's nice and stable. It's got a tiller, piece of rope you pull the sail in with, and that's it.
So I'm going to be doing a bit of steering,
Yes.
right? And you're going to be doing everything else.
This charming boat is of the kind used in the book, and if a child can sail it, surely a Calman can.
That's us ready to head out into the biggest lake in England
Brilliant.
and
Let's
go
do
for a
it.
sail.
Woo!
A little bit more rope in, and off we go.
It's lovely being out in the water, and it's kind of, I never did it as a kid, but I could imagine kids must love this in terms of pretending to be pirates and sailors and all of that kind of stuff. They must love it.
Yeah, there's so many islands that you're allowed to land on. That when we're out teaching the kids sailing, if we get a day that's flat like this.
So kids will say, "Oh, take me to the islands,"
Yep,
because they're
yeah.
young and childish and stuff. So Ian, can you take me to an island?
After all, I'm practically one of the characters from the book now. This very boat was used in the 2016 film adaptation right here in Cumbria.
We've landed on this beautiful little island. Very exciting. It's like a childhood dream. I didn't read the book. When I was ill. I think it was chicken pox I had. My mum got me a tape of Swallows and Amazons. I listened to it again and again. I could probably tell you off by heart with all the voices. And I loved it. Lying on the sofa in Glasgow, I always dreamed of visiting the island that the Swallows and Amazons were on. And it does feel, it's got that mystery about it.
And with an imagination like mine, this island becomes one with the book.
Look at that. Signs of life. There might be other people on this island. Maybe they're pirates. I hope they come back for that, though, because I hate littering, even in pirates.
And of course, in the story, the rivals, the Amazons, left other signs, sometimes quite literally.
There are pirates on this island. I need to go back to Helen. I'm coming, Helen.
It's lovely to have a bit of adventure, just not for too long. Coming up, I find the courage.
Do you know what? I'm a risk taker. I'm going to see what it's like.
And go deep into the heart of Cumbria.
Oh, it's chillier in here, Donald.
I'm exploring beautiful Cumbria with my favourite camper van, Helen.
Look at that. It's another lake. Another beautiful lake. If you think you've seen some gorgeous lakes, you should come here, because they're gorgeous.
Set in jaw-dropping scenery, it's easy to see why Lake Windermir is one of the area's biggest attractions. While many enjoy viewing this magnificent lake up close, turns out there's an even better spot not far from its shores.
Now, it's a bit of a trek, so I've left Helen safely behind. I don't mind, though, because in my view, sometimes a bit of a journey is worth it for the reward at the other end.
The path to Clave's viewing station had trees and shrubs deliberately planted around it to restrict the views all the way to the top.
I'm not Hercule Poirot, but I have deduced I think I can get a little bit higher up for an even better view. So I can see some stairs, and I'm going to investigate.
Built in the 1790s, viewing stations such as this cropped up in the Lake District to give wealthy tourists the best vantage points to take in the dramatic scenery. And they came with a special set of instructions.
I hope no one thinks I'm strange walking backwards. There is a reason I'm doing this, and that's because in the 18th century, when tourism really started round here, people were actually afraid of the beauty of the view, and they were afraid they would swoon. Swoon. Which is why I'm keeping my back short, just in case I swoon, because if I swoon, I'm going down hard. That's the thing, I'm going down hard. I'm not a Victorian lady. I am smashing to the ground like a WWE wrestler.
To save their delicate disposition, the tourists were advised to look at the landscape in a special glazed mirror called a clawed glass that would frame the panoramic view into a safe-to-see image. I'm hoping my compact mirror will do the same job.
I can see it. I can see it. So, I have safely seen the view, and whilst it's lovely, do you know what? I'm a risk taker. I'm going to see what it's like. If I swoon, someone catch me. Crew? No one. It's fine, I'll be okay. Generally frightened myself. See? Perfectly fine. Yeah, no. Look how beautiful that is.
And there's more. Like a real-life Insta-filter, these coloured glass panels were supposed to show the view through different seasons. This view was certainly worth the climb, but there's more to Cumbria than just beautiful lakes. For my next stop, I'm leaving the lake and heading nearly 20 miles east, just outside Kendal, which I hear is home to something rather special. Built Built around a 13th century tower, Levens Hall is a gorgeous mansion, no doubt. But it's the gardens that truly steal the show.
This is wonderful. I just stepped through a little doorway there, and it's a walled garden with all these incredible bushes and trees. It's like stepping into the pages of a Lewis Carroll novel.
This is, in fact, a page straight out of the Guinness Book of Records as the world's oldest topiary. Once the height of fashion in 17th century England, topiary is the art of clipping trees into fanciful shapes. Today, keeping them looking their sharpest is head gardener Chris Crowder.
Chris, it's wonderful to meet you in these beautiful gardens. Just tell me a little bit about the history of them.
These gardens go back over 300 years. Back in the 1690s, a new owner came to Levens, and he bought a French garden designer to lay the spot out. He had some money, and he did it out in the fashion of the times, which was this sort of clipped topiary effect that we're looking around at. Straight beds and a very formal style.
Mm-hmm. It was a symbol of wealth, wasn't it?
I suppose it's a bit like today, yeah, that same thing. But then the outside, the other side of that wall was a very wild and dangerous place, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So they were laying down the hand that said, these are the straight lines, this is quite formal.
Order.
As tastes change, many of these topiary gardens were dug out and replaced, but this one at Levens Hall survived the snip by a stroke of luck.
It was like a chance of fate that the owner had a son, but his son died before him, and back in the day, everything went down through the male line. So it went to his daughter, who was rather fond of the spot. So it survived that generation. And then after that, it survived two more ladies.
It's like a cross between Alice in Wonderland and The Secret Garden.
Even in the winter, when there's nobody about or it's dark, no flowers and that, it's like these shapes. They're all characters on their own, and you can almost imagine it on a moonlit night.
At night, they come out.
Spooky.
Now, do you have any favourite shapes in this garden?
I like the small ones. There's some box pieces about your height or more my height.
What, 6 foot, Chris? What are you talking about?
Yeah, a more manageable height.
That's what I've always been called.
A more manageable.
A more manageable height. Title of my autobiography right there.
With over 100 of these living tree sculptures to keep in shape, Chris and his team can spend months clipping them. But topiary novices like me can start with something a bit more manageable.
Number one top tip, you need sharp shears. These things grow very slowly. And if you look, the old growth is a dark green and the new growth is light green.
It's the lighter.
So it's just a question of when you see it sticking out, chop it off.
It's like cutting hair if you're not a hairdresser. Little bits. Don't take a chunk. I can just take a little bit off there. Gently, gently.
And stand back and admire your handiwork.
And thank you for all your top tips. And thank you for showing me this beautiful garden.
Well, and the best of luck with it.
Thank you very much indeed.
Okay,
thank you. Let's have a think about what we can do here.
Well, I think I can manage this with a little imagination. I'm sure we all remember Edward Scissorhands. And voila!
It's not changed at all. Sorry, Chris.
I guess imagination only gets you so far in the topiary game. My next stop is 40 miles north through the Cumbrian fells.
The scenery here in Cumbria, I mean, it's just drama. It is full of drama. Everywhere you look, there's something even more beautiful to see.
And it doesn't get more beautiful than this.
Absolutely heavenly. Wow.
This is Honister Pass, and at the top lies England's only working slate mine. Slate has been mined here for over 300 years, but it was in the 18th century that Honister truly came into its own. Such was the demand for the prized slate that special tram and train lines were put in place to transport it down from the mountains. The only access to the mine is through a labyrinth of underground tunnels. And I'm glad former mine worker Donald Angus is here to keep me right.
Oh, it's chillier in here, Donald.
It's lovely, this.
Chilly, chilly.
It keeps you cool. Everything that we look at in here has been hewn out by man. No natural caves whatsoever. In the early days, we've got to remember, they didn't use gunpowder. It was chiseled out. Then, of course, when gunpowder came in, then you could blast quicker and get more rock out. But the drilling of holes in the mine was the thing that really took the time.
What I'm thinking is, that took a long time to get to this place. I mean, it really is astonishing.
It was a hard job, a very hard job. But there were hard men. There had to be, to work in places like this. But up here, the slate was good.
And all around, when you drive around the Lake District, there's evidence, the beautiful slate in the buildings, that probably came from a mine like this.
Exactly.
And occasionally, these mines resound to a beat of a different kind. The slate chambers have played host to special musical performances, and today I'm getting to see one conducted by Mark Edwards.
I'm fascinated by this. It's kind of, when I used to do stand-up, we used to do stand-up in places you wouldn't expect, taking comedy or arts to different places. What is it like to play music in this place?
The North is very proud of its mining history, so to have an orchestra down a mine, I think, is a fascinating thing and fairly unique in this music. It sort of imitates the sounds of a working mine with some quite harsh sounds of maybe the chisels, or then some more longer explosion-like sounds as well. So you can sort of try and recreate that atmosphere of the working mine. This is slated by Michael Betteridge. Go.
That was extraordinary. That is a concert of a lifetime. So thank you very much indeed. Thank you so much.
It's quite fitting that down a Cumbrian mine, I'd find a real Cumbrian gem. Coming up, I swap new technology.
This is your holiday memory.
For some old school romance. I'm having a grand adventure exploring the gorgeous county of Cumbria.
What I really love driving around here is it's the buildings as well, the slate buildings, the contrast with those greens and browns, because it's muted yet really powerful.
It's time for a little pit stop at the picturesque town of Ambleside.
So I've been driving for a wee while, and I stopped off at a car park because I needed to use the facilities, which I did. But as an added bonus, I've stumbled across this. Now this is apparently one of the most photographed houses in the Lake District.
Once used to store apples, Bridge House is a tiny 17th century building that sits on a bridge in the town centre. This quirky place has been a muse for many famous artists, and even I'm feeling a touch inspired.
So, this is an instant camera. For people watching who don't know what it is, it was like the height of innovation. You take a picture and it comes straight out and you do this. But you don't know what you've taken, because unlike smartphones where you can like, pew, 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 you just guess. I thought it'd be quite exciting. And also it means I can take it straight back to Helen instead of having it like on a phone. So that's the house there. I'm going to move a little bit closer to get the really gorgeous part of it.
But first, I need a shot worthy of Helen's dashboard.
Okay. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it like a Polaroid picture. Shake it, shake it. Takes a while.
Classic photo done, and now for something a little fancier.
Try and get that. Pew! And now, it's I remember family holidays and Christmases where you just didn't know what was gonna, if you'd taken anyone's picture. And that's part of the joy of these, because who knows what we've done. So now we just have to wait and see if I'm in this picture or not.
All good things come to those who wait, after all.
This is why I'm so sorry smartphones were invented, because otherwise this is your holiday memory. So I'm going to take this back to Helen.
I must say, Bridge House is beautiful, but Helen will just have to take my word for it.
Wow. Oh, camper van! Camper van! I'm playing camper van bingo. Camper van!
Just a few miles up from Ambleside is Grasmere, which is one of the Lake District's prettiest villages. This small idyllic place was once home to one of Britain's biggest literary stars.
Lots of fabulous artists and writers are associated with the Lake District, but for me, the name I always think of is Wordsworth. I mean, he is so connected with this area. I wanted to know more, so I'm wandering, lonely as a cloud, to his house.
Poet extraordinaire William Wordsworth had nothing short of celebrity status in 19th century Britain. With landmark works such as The Prelude and Daffodils, he was at the forefront of the Romantic movement, and 200 years later remains world-renowned. He lived right here at Dove Cottage, where head curator Jeff Cowton is letting me in on the poet's life.
Jeff, it's lovely to meet you in this incredible place. I'm always fascinated, you know, when I watch documentaries about the Rolling Stones and say, oh, they slept late and they wrote... So what did he do as a writer?
Well, Wordsworth also slept late.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He didn't have to depend on his labours for his income, and so they could go for long walks. They could, if they felt a little poorly, go to bed for the day. They could stay up all night writing.
Because he had the luxury, because he wasn't a labourer or a farmer, so he could do those kind of artistic things.
Wordsworth lived at Dove Cottage for nearly a decade with his wife Mary and sister Dorothy, who were his biggest fans.
Dorothy, who kept this remarkable journal for 3 years of their life here, she describes the day-to-day. Her journal is full of the walks that they took together, and it was out on their walks that they met the people on the road, and then returning to the house, perhaps in this room, this is where the poetry would go from his mind and onto paper, often with the help of Dorothy and Mary. It was very much the three of them working together.
Next door is the world's largest collection of Wordsworth's manuscripts, and it's my lucky day, as I'm getting to have a look at a 200-year-old notebook written by the poet himself.
This is him writing out the poems. Now, some of them are neat, some of them will be second or third attempts.
I can make out some of the words.
Yeah.
But it's like your own handwriting, isn't it, when you're scribbling down. So he's crossed quite a bit out, so he's gone back over what he's written. Tiny writing.
With a quill, remember.
Turns out, writing so many words can be tough on a genius. Luckily, he had Dorothy and Mary around to help.
The great poem on Wordsworth's life, The Prelude, was copied out several times, and we've calculated that his wife Mary copied out at least 20,000 lines. You know, that's 2 or 3 full versions of the 8,000-line poem, you know? That's the support Wordsworth got. And without Mary and without Dorothy, it's fair to say there would be certainly a lot less Wordsworth poetry.
So I'm always fascinated by the stories, particularly of women.
Yeah.
Tell me about Dorothy.
So Dorothy is herself a remarkable woman. She has been, if you like, in the background for quite a long time, but right through her life she kept journals.
beautiful to just look at.
It is.
What an incredible hand.
Yeah.
Turns out Dorothy's journals weren't just restricted to poetry.
Now, if you look at the back, so there is a list of purchases. So just like, you know, we might keep a notebook and we keep what we did that day, we might keep a jotting, but we also keep our shopping lists.
I can see here you've got a parcel, and you've got all of the little bits and pieces which are the everyday life that she was living. I have a book exactly like this in my kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's called Susan's Book of Important Things.
Yeah.
And also I've got a to-do list which includes call GP, pick up prescription.
Yeah.
And it's the same.
Exactly the same.
Thank you for everything that you do to preserve these things, because 200 years from now, people will still be interested. I don't think 200 years from now people will be interested in my book of interesting things.
Your book of really interesting things.
I need to do a second volume. You're absolutely right, Jeff.
An inspirational thought. It was here that Wordsworth himself was inspired. He called the garden the loveliest spot that man had ever found.
Now, as it is a place of love, I'm going to write a love letter to a very special woman in my life. And I've got a quill and ink. Now, it's been a while. I mean, since I have actually written with a quill before. I used to do a lot of calligraphy when I was younger. I remember writing my birthday invitations in beautiful calligraphy. So let's see how this goes. Quills are quite difficult. What's the noise they make?
Signed, sealed, and now delivered.
It is a love letter. It looks like a parking ticket, but it is a love letter.
And there's a lot more to love in Grasmere. I've heard the village has a world-famous gingerbread shop, complete with a closely guarded Victorian secret recipe.
Wow, the smell is incredible.
It is.
Tell me about your gingerbread.
It's been baked here since 1854, founded by a lady in Sarah Nelson, and we bake it here and wrap it up in the traditional parchment.
And is the recipe pretty much the same?
The secret recipe in the bank.
Secret recipe in the bank. Oh, I love it, I love it. I would like, how many are in every pack?
Well, that's the small one, that's the 6 pieces, or the large one, which is the 12 pieces.
I would like, just to be really odd, 12 of the 6 pieces.
That is a lot of gingerbread, Susan. What are you going to do with all this gingerbread?
A fair question, my lady, but all will become clear.
Trust me, I have a plan.
The beautiful slate buildings have inspired me. So grab some gingerbread, take a seat and tune in to my new feature called... Get ready for my take on a gingerbread house.
The thing about this gingerbread, which is different potentially to others you might have seen, is, as you can see, it's quite flat. This reminds me of the slate. That's what this is. So I'm going to try and build kind of like a house of cards type situation. I mean, already, nailing it. The greens.
Gingerbread may be my bricks, but icing is my mortar.
Base level. We're not finished yet.
At least I hope we're not finished.
There's a breeze, there's a breeze.
Best to make this the final piece.
I love heart.
I think we'll call that complete, which at least means there's quite a bit left over to nibble on.
Lovely.
Coming up. Things get shaky with Helen. and a little thing that gives me a bit of a challenge.
So pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time.
I'm nearing the end of my grand road trip in Cumbria.
Life is a highway, I want to ride it all night long.
And not far from Grasmere, I've heard there's a highway road like no other.
So, exciting challenge for Helen. Just here is apparently, according to scientists, the best driving road in Britain. It offers the perfect combination of scenery and smooth. There's a load of equations, is what I'm saying.
A part of the A591 from Kendal to Keswick got top marks for its stunning scenery, but more importantly, for offering drivers smooth stretches to sit back and enjoy the drive. But this road is yet to face the ultimate test. A candidate for the bumpiest drive in Britain, Helen.
For the experiment, I have this duck that I've named Olivia Colman, because she's the second greatest actress in the world after Helen Mirren. So I've got Olivia here, which should give us an idea of how smooth the ride is. We also have, remember, Jason Statham, my sheep, who can also give us an idea of how the road is.
Like a well-oiled machine, off we go.
Now we're going round and round about. This isn't fair. This is not scientific. This is not scientific. OK, now we're on it. Now we're on it. Now we're on it.
Side to side is good. Anything else is bad.
Now, scenery, absolutely epic. Gorgeous. Oh, Olivia's quite steady. Olivia's quite steady.
It's looking promising.
Oh, no. See, what's happened there is we went through a wee bump, and Helen notoriously is a wee bit rocky on the old axis.
Olivia and Jason couldn't agree more.
I would still rather drive this beautiful van than a fancy car where you didn't feel it. That's the thing about Helen. You feel every single bump. And that's what makes her special.
It seems that even on the best road in Britain, Helen remains reassuringly bumpy. And I wouldn't have her any other way. My engineering marvel and I have one last stop, fittingly at a place that had a key role in Cumbria's industrial past, making a small thing with a beautiful name.
Bobbin. Just saying it makes me smile. And it's partly because of the word, but also the memories it conjures up. It really reminds me of sitting on the floor of my granny's flat in front of the gas fire, where she had a massive sewing kit open. She had a bobbin with every colour of thread. There's not a garment in this world my granny couldn't fix. And I've got that now. I've got my sewing kit and all of my bobbins and my wooden darning mushroom for my socks. And I just love it. But like lots of things we love, they just appear, don't they? Where do bobbins come from? Well, I can tell you where they come from, because I'm at a bobbin mill.
Stott Park is the only surviving example of the hundreds of bobbin mills that sprung up in Cumbria starting in the 18th century. This tiny cog was vital to the textile factories of northern England during the Industrial Revolution. Although the mill officially closed in 1971, Stott Park is now open to the public as a working museum.
Tracy, it's wonderful to meet you. This place, it's a full sensory hit.
Tracy Shaw helps look after this historical time capsule.
I've been to the Lake District lots, and I associate kind of, you know, the Industrial Revolution perhaps with slightly further south, and I had no idea that it was such a part of the Lake District.
Well, a lot of people obviously made their own clothes in those days, and then each one of the mills, they would specialise in the sizes. So a lot of the bigger bobbins would go through the process of making the cotton, whereas here it's mainly for the people that work for the domestic market.
As the process of making textiles became mechanised in the 19th century, the demand for bobbins skyrocketed.
How many bobbins would be made in this mill?
Well, in its heyday, about 250,000 a week. So,
$250,000 a week?
Yep. Yeah, because you think one cotton mill would use up to 1 million bobbins.
It's quite mind-blowing, that.
It is, yeah, it's a staggering amount. I mean, I can't get it into my own head, really, even though...
A $250,000 a week?
Yeah, just a staggering amount.
This dizzying number of bobbins were made by a relatively small group of 250 boys and men, with most work done by hand. There's something even I can have a go at.
This is the very start of the wood. It's arrived at the yard, so the first thing that's going to happen to this is it needs to have its bark taking off it.
What do I do?
Yeah, so sitting astride.
This is slightly... OK,
get your
now we've
feet
got
on
a
the...
little bit of a... Shall we...
Done elegantly, as always.
Hold on a second. Right, OK.
So, yeah, this is clamping the wood in place.
Right, so I push that forward, which clamps it down.
That's now holding the wood for you.
OK.
And you've got your draw knife, and with the draw knife, you're just taking off strips of bark. That's it, yeah, just a little strip.
So pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time. Because as you pull back, your feet go... But what you need to do is you need to keep pressure on your feet.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah, that's grand. You're natural.
Kind of Tracy to say, though if I was on duty, I'm not sure they would have hit the $250,000 target. After it's stripped, the wood is left to dry, often for a full year. Then it's ready for the final stage, courtesy of Tracy.
OK, there you go.
And so that's it. This beautiful bobbin, and this is what they would make thousands, 250,000 a week.
$250,000 a week, yeah.
I've got a little cabinet of my grannies, from whom I loved bobbins, and I'm going to put that in the cabinet and look at it. So thank you very much, Tracy. It's very precious.
It's a wonderful souvenir of my grand Cumbrian adventure. And what an incredible time I've had.
On this visit, I think I've discovered a different side to an area I thought I knew so well. I've dug deeper into the history and the people. And I've heard some stories that will stay with me for a very, very long time. And this view is just magnificent.